Jonathan Majors and his trial that's currently ongoing. There's been a lot of revelations that have come out in the course of that, and one of the big ones was the messages that he's exchanged between him and his ex-girlfriends, and it makes for some interesting stuff. Like, I don't know if chilling is the word for it, but man, it gives a bit of an insight into the psychology, and I can read a little bit out for you guys just to give you a flavor of the kind of interactions they have, because I've been hearing really mixed things about this trial and how close he is to being exonerated or convicted. It seems to be all over the place depending on who you talk to. But one of the main ones was text messages dating back to September 2022, discussing an incident between Majors and his girlfriend, Grace Jabari, ex-girlfriend by this point. She had suffered a head injury. We don't exactly know why, but she wanted to go to hospital because she was suffering from recurring pain and unable to sleep. So she wanted to get medical treatment for it. He didn't want her to go, though. And quote from him, I fear that you have no perspective of what could happen if you go to the hospital. They'll ask you questions, and as I don't think you actually protect us, it could lead to an investigation, even if you do lie and they suspect something. She responded, I'll tell the doctor that I bumped my head. If I go, I'm going to give it one more day, but I can't sleep and I need stronger painkillers. That's all. Why would I want to tell them what really happened when it's clear that I want to be with you? Yeah, that doesn't sound great. She also said, sorry, I will not go to the doctor if you don't feel safe with me doing so. I promise I would never mention you, but I understand your fear.
Wow.
Yeah. In response, he said, last night I considered ending myself versus coming home, and I will probably end myself. It's not really contemplating anymore. I'm a monster, a horrible man, not capable of love. I am ending myself soon. I've already put things in motion.
And he just watched all these movies.
Yeah. I mean, that's if you were a cynical person, you could attribute that to emotional manipulation.
Yeah, you might
do
say
exactly
it's a bit
what I want.
narcissistic.
Yeah.
Could you think of anything worse if I was in court and they just start saying we're going to start reading out texts to an ex-girlfriend? I'd be just like, hang on, I'm guilty. That's it. Just put me away. I'd rather.
Let's not go through all of Discovery, please.
Yeah. Do not look at my browsing history.
Drunken texts. Oh yes, no. I'd rather go to jail.
Yeah.
I killed everybody. I did it all. I just don't.
There's other. There's also another conversation here that was. It was not a text conversation. It was audio, and they've got the transcript of it here. Says, where's the best place to start? Majors says, "Do you really love me? Do you really?" She says, "Yes." Majors says, "Then how dare you come home drunk and disturb the peace of our house when we have a plan?" She says, "I'm sorry." Majors says, "I would like to get to the point where your friends know what job I'm on and go, I think Grace is going to be out of commission. You get me?" She says, "Yeah, I won't." And he says, "No, do you understand that? Because that team, that unit, right? Grace has to be of a certain mindset to support Coretta Scott King. Do you know who that is? That's Martin Luther King's wife, Michelle Obama, Barack Obama's wife." She says, "I know, I shouldn't have gone out, and I'm so sorry." He says, "Let me just lay it out for you, right? If I am, I'm just going to say this. My temper, my shit, all that. All that said, right? And let's say I'm a great man. A great man. I'm doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and my world. This is actually the position I'm in. That's real. I'm not being a dick about it. I didn't ask for it. I've worked, and that's the situation. The woman that supports me..."
Quantumania, right?
Yeah, that's really a great thing for the world. The woman that supports me, that I support, the work that needs to be a great woman and make sacrifices the way that man is making for her and for them ultimately. Last night, 2 nights ago, you did not do that. I mean, I don't want to use that.
I read a lot of scripts.
Yeah, I don't want to throw the term narcissist around willy-nilly, but I can't think of a better word to describe him.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is incredibly manipulative. It's awful.
Yeah. It really seems like that. Like, if you don't do what I want, I'm going to end myself. And then, like, when she kind of comes back around, just going on these crazy diatribes about how you're a great man, like, like all these great civil rights leaders of the 60s, and you're going to change the world. Like, dude, you're an actor in a Marvel movie. You're not on par with them.
I'm always trying to tell people I'm great, and it never works. So,
for some reason, they don't believe you when you say that. Not you, but anybody saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. When I get thrown out of my local pub for like urinating on the floor, and I'm just trying to say to them, like, do you realize how great I am? I'm a great man doing great things.
It's like
this is in the bar, like listing all of his famous movies, and then you're there, like, I reviewed TLJ, buddy. All right.
It's like when Tywin Lannister says, sends who's that like really irritating kid king in
Joffrey.
Game of Thrones? Joffrey, there you go. He sends Joffrey to bed and he says, a real king doesn't have to say that he's king.
Yeah.
That's like one of the most well-remembered scenes in all of Game of Thrones. It's like, it's right before it went to shit, too.
Any man who has to proclaim himself king is no king. It's just
no king.
It's a great line.
The Joffrey actor's at the other end of the scale in this story, isn't he? Like, he was just like, acting's not really for me,
Yeah. He's retired.
You went back to school, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, after you've played a character like Joffrey, you're going to struggle to break away from it, really. It's probably going to taint a lot of your subsequent...
Well, I think he was just young enough to not know for sure what he wanted to do in his life. It was a really cool decision to see, to be like, I mean, because he could get more roles after that, for sure. But,
But as for Jonathan Majors, I mean, as I understand it, like, he's effectively done within Marvel. They don't seem to have much interest in working with him anymore. And this trial is probably going to go on for a while, isn't it? Like, it's... But it's the sort of thing, they can't just delay all their movies while they wait to find out if he's guilty or innocent. Like, he's effectively out. And the more of stuff like this that comes out, the worse it looks for him.
Yeah, I don't know how you defend this. And were we talking before that they're thinking about moving on from Kang instead of like recasting the character? Because if it's a multiverse, why couldn't you recast them?
I think they're talking about moving on from him and maybe bringing in like Victor Von Doom or something as like the next.
We know now.
That was I made a video saying that's who it should have been in the first place anyway. Like,
I mean, we talked about how it's no
terrible anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they're still going to screw it up, but like, it's no great loss for them that Kang is out. Like, he wasn't a great villain. His launch was bungled, and he's been defeated every time he's appeared. Like, so this is probably I hate to say a blessing in disguise, but it's certainly not going to harm them any worse than everything else that's happening right now.